on the goalkeeper. There's the first win. Great touch. He does the rest. That's the touch that makes it.
Still only 20 as Dubravka goes long. Little flick on, and it comes to Isak.
To a good position, excellent pass from Murphy. What he does, he just knows the defenders there in front. Raya trying to push it away, but he pushes it straight.
That's a good ball, Isak. Oh, it's on target, Gordon's there!
Gordon getting round the back, gets there before Timber.
Anthony Gordon tapped.
At Newcastle, they won their duels on the day, period. Yeah. They won their duel. The center backs won their duels with Havertz and with the front three of Arsenal. The Tonali won the duel against Declan Rice. Gordon skipped by Declan Rice as well. He won his race. Murphy scores a goal because he gambles and wins his duel.
You look at these numbers in both of them and how influential they were, and Anthony Gordon was sensational today, Poppy. Honestly was, and it's not just he took his goal well, and I love the mental side that he shows there, but he doesn't care if he missed. He doesn't dwell on it. He scored the opportunity that he took, and all over the place. Look at a little Picasso of him there. He's everywhere. He's absolutely everywhere. No, really, really well done to Anthony Gordon today. Thought he was sensational.
He cares. He wants to play against Tottenham, right? I mean, I think everyone in the world, everything in the world.
No, it's a cup final.
Everyone in the world will tell you, though, you'd much rather play against Tottenham than Liverpool at the moment, right now. Not to say that Tottenham is a weaker side. Obviously, they're going
well,
the next leg.
You just said it. You just said he wants Tottenham.
Who would you rather play?
I don't care. I've had that mentality. I don't care. You get to the final, you get to the final.
You think it's an easier match against Tottenham?
It doesn't matter. Wherever you get to the final, you get to the final. When we played Liverpool in the FA Cup, it's Liverpool. Still Liverpool. Didn't care. Got to go out there and earn it.
We'll see, but I thought Gordon was excellent. That's why I don't want to say that Isak is the big difference maker. We know the qualities that he has. You know, Troy went out and said he's one of the best strikers in the world at the moment. But even for Murphy and Gordon, I thought they were fantastic in this formation. The heat map shows you exactly how much he had to cover and all the spots he had to be in. Normally, when you see someone in that position, you say, okay, this is going to be your area. He was everywhere. He was doing everything. And the thing he mentions in the interview that I think is great is we won our duels. His football is about winning duels. You can go through the 11 at Newcastle. They won their duels on the day, period. Yeah. They won their duel. The center backs won their duels with Havertz and with the front three of Arsenal. The Tonali won the duel against Declan Rice. Gordon skipped by Declan Rice as well. He won his race. Murphy scores a goal because he gambles and wins his duel against the back line of Arsenal. So it was all over the place where they won their duels.
Yeah,
they were fantastic.
It all was our friends Jeff Shreves and Troy Deeney who are stood by for us. Boys, it's so good to see you. Troy, we know Arsenal, they had a bit of a frosty reception tonight, didn't they? How was your reception, though, by the way, after the comments you made about Newcastle? Did you bring anyone with you just for a bit of backup tonight?
I did, and I got here, and apparently I need security. So we got Jeff.
He hid behind me.
I got a Secret Service agent just stood to the left of me over there. I'm more worried that he's going to do me instead of anybody else. So, yeah, it's been good fun, though.
Hey, what'd you boys think about the game? Did you pick up anything that we couldn't see, like body language-wise, from Arsenal, maybe from Arteta, or any of the players? You know, because to me it seemed like a performance that was just lacking so many things.
Grella, from the first minute where Troy and I were sat just over there at pitch level, Troy was waxing lyrical about Alexander Isak, which is understandable. But what was noticeable for us at this level was the amount of uncertainty he planted into the minds of Gabriel and William Saliba. He had them all ends up. They were panicking, weren't they, Troy? Absolutely. Every time the ball came near him.
Yeah, they didn't know if he was going to come short. He licked the play and then he'd run in behind. I think you see with the first shot that he scores, obviously that gets ruled offside, but he leaves them 5-6 yards behind him. And then the second one, that left-footed shot with the pace. But I don't know if you could see it on the screens, but the way that Newcastle set up, it's why I asked Anthony Gordon when he was here, it was like any training session that we've all done, guys, where the manager says, right, the under-18s are going to try and break us down. As soon as we do it, we all go and we score, which is like a pre-season drill. And Newcastle broke it down probably 15, 16 times in that first half. And if they would have got the final pass right, they would have been in every single time. So I think, Nigel, you said it as well, like, the way that Mikel Arteta sets up is very systematic, but the way that Eddie set up today, Eddie Howe, was one that tweaked, made some small changes, and when they did that, they'd absolutely had Arsenal's number, not only tonight, but for the last 2 occasions.
But do you guys think they've played now 280, 290 minutes of football against this Newcastle side, and they've played every single game? If you go back and look at the games and look at the statistic, they played all 3 games the same way, and all 3 games they got almost the same result. Do you think that's acceptable for we're talking about a top manager in Arteta to not change or not figure out ways over 290 minutes of football to find a way to get a goal and look a little bit more dangerous?
Well, I think the question there, Grella, is why didn't they do anything different? And again, when we were talking about it during the game, Arsenal looked like a team that play to a system. They only play in a certain style and they keep doing the same thing. There was no variation. They didn't mix it up at all. And time again, they were frustrated. When they finally got the ball into the final third, Newcastle just blocked everything off. That gap between the fullback and the centre halves was gone. And at half-time, Troy, I said to you, what do they do to change the narrative? And nothing changed, did it?
No, and also I think it's too easy to say the system. I think sometimes players have got to do a little bit more. The framework is there for Arsenal. None of them really went off-piece. None of them tried something different. There was no shots from the edge of the box, 25 yards. Just try and give something for Newcastle to think about. Everyone did the same thing. The changes that they made as well were just like for like. Everyone did the same thing. The big key point that no one's really talking about as well, guys in the studio, is that the set pieces for Arsenal are null and void against this team because they're just as big, they're just as physical, and they absolutely want to head the ball as well.
Well, Troy, you might be mistaken because Grella and I mentioned that. But anyway, Newcastle were excellent today.
We didn't hear, mate. Sorry. Apologies.
All right, yeah. Anyway, Newcastle were excellent today. How much of a big loss is this for Arsenal with the season? Yes, they're still in the Champions League and in the Premier League title race. But do you see this as a big loss for Arsenal in trying to win something?
100%, because they were, 90 minutes away, albeit behind in the tie. They were 90 minutes away from reaching Wembley. Yeah, it is a huge loss. And I think also as well, Nigel, you've got to think about mentally what this does to Arsenal too, because it just plants that seed once again. They were on a great run. They had won the last 4 games. They hadn't won 5 in a row all season. That still isn't there. And also, they go to Dubai now. They've got to regroup while there. They've got the Premier League, albeit chasing Liverpool, and that is a tough task, and the Champions League as well. But when you have a bad result and it sits with you for a long time, which this will do, that's what makes it tough.
It will, but there's better places to think about it than being in Dubai, right?
It's warmer than here.
Yeah, get a bit of sun on your back. Life's all good. I just think, guys, I said it a few weeks back. I believe that Arsenal's best chance for a trophy is going to have to be the Champions League. I don't think Liverpool are going to lose 3-4 games and allow for Arsenal to catch them. I really don't. They're just a machine that keeps on going. And I think the way that they're set up, the defensive-minded setup that Arteta has, plays a little bit more favourable to the Champions League. I don't think they can win it, but they have to put all their eggs in that basket, personally.
But although we're talking about Arsenal now, we should take nothing away from Newcastle United. Yeah. They were absolutely fantastic. They did a real job from start to finish, and they were worthy winners tonight.
Hey, it's good to see you boys on the same page with the dress code tonight, too. It looks incredible.
He rocks it slightly better than me, to be fair.
Hey, that's like in the studio. Grella's got his linen shirt on and Nigel's got a brand new suit from London with a tie and a pocket square.
Wow.
I'm giving you some
I'm liking
credit,
the fits,
Nigel.
guys. I'm liking the fits.
All right, you guys were over there. We thought Anthony Gordon was absolutely sensational today for Newcastle. Who would you say else stood out for Newcastle?
He's just gone past us there, Tonali.
Yeah, Tonali was excellent.
Yeah, I
was
thought
absolutely superb.
Who else we trying to fit? I think Bruno was excellent in there as well. A little bit at times, a bit too early with the showboating, but fundamentally when you win, who cares? And then, to be honest, mate, it was hard to pick anyone did anything wrong. I think you have to give Trippier a mention. Hasn't played a lot, getting older now. But he schooled the Arsenal left-hand side. Trossard never had a kick. Lewis Skelly had in his pocket. I thought he was excellent.
But Troy, isn't that a compliment to Newcastle United? It was such a complete team performance that it's not like there were 2 or 3 that stood out head and shoulders above everybody else, other than Isak and his obvious quality. It was a real team, a real unified, a cohesive performance.
Good word. I like that word. Good word.
Write it down, then you can use it next time. Troy, Poppy said to tell you that normally when you're not there, we get more interviews, and it must have been about the disrespect you showed to Newcastle fans that they didn't want to come and speak to you.
No, we got the interviews that we're allowed. Basically, if we'd have done some real research, we'd have been allowed inside. That's what happened last time. But we'll get more tomorrow for you guys, don't worry. We'll go inside.
Troy, I know you don't believe that for a second.
I do.
Would
Well
I
done,
ever
Jason.
set you up for anything?
Well done.
No, you're
Congrats,
only in an
congrats,
interview
Jason,
right
well
now.
done.
Yeah, you just cut off. You're only in an interview right now. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
One job.
See, that's what happens here, guys. We've just got respect in the UK.
You've
we
just
don't have to
made
do what
Jen
you
in
do,
the
Nigel.
back
We stay
absolutely
here.
blush, by the way. You've just made Jen blush.
Hey, boys, also earlier in the show, Nigel said that, and so did Gordon, but Nigel also said, doesn't matter who they play in the final. If you were Newcastle, who would you want to play in the final, Tottenham or Liverpool?
Oh, Tottenham all day long. Ridiculous question.
Do you want to think about it? No, do you know what? I think either way, right, for us guys, the storyline is going to be great, right? Liverpool are going to obviously try and win everything this season, but I just think Spurs versus Newcastle is a great game. They're going to have to go for it. There's a massive storyline behind it, and you know, with any Spurs game, they're going to leave spaces at the back and they're going to get after it. So I think it's a great game.
Hang on. Before the first leg, Tottenham against Liverpool, you didn't give Tottenham a prayer.
I still don't.
I was the sole voice that said Tottenham have got a chance.
Even a broken clock is wrong. Is right twice a day. Remember? It don't happen often, guys. Remember that.
Are you saying Tottenham can turn it around tomorrow?
No, I am saying Tottenham will get spanked. The question was, who would you prefer to play? And I think Tottenham gets spanked tomorrow.
I think you could give full credit to Newcastle as well. I thought Newcastle were outstanding, but you're talking about two legs here. This is not a one-off game where, you know, Newcastle can get lucky or someone gets sent off or there's a big mistake. This was over two legs, and they destroyed Arsenal, really. 4-0 on aggregate. You know, for me, fair play to Newcastle. Arsenal didn't turn up yesterday. I know they're going to win it 4-0. If Odegaard scores with his right foot, it's a different game. It is a different game. 30 seconds later, they go up the other end. But that's football. And for me, fair play. I think unless you're a Liverpool, a Tottenham or a Sunderland fan, who doesn't want Newcastle to win this trophy?
Yeah.
Because I'm sure, you know, I do. So I wouldn't think anybody else would not want them to win this trophy now. You know, it's been a long wait. You know, I'm getting old and I haven't seen them win anything.
True. Same here.
Well, that's obvious.
Yeah.
You're younger than me.
Well, you know, don't see any of my teams doing very well at the moment, but Newcastle, whatever. Did it surprise you, though, the performance? Let's focus on Arsenal then. I mean, coming off the back of that performance against, of course, Man City as well.
Yeah, I mean, this is Arsenal. They've got to stay more consistent. You know, I think, you know, after the Man City game was outstanding. But you come to Newcastle, it was going to be a hard game. You know, they don't do well at St James's Park. They haven't done well for a while. You know, it's been a hard place to go. And I think people are underestimating Newcastle. I thought Arsenal might win the game by the odd goal, but I did fancy Newcastle to go through. But I thought they were a bit disrespected, Newcastle. I think people were thinking, oh, yeah, Arsenal got up here, score, and then they'll go and steamroll them. They've lost to Bournemouth, they've lost to Fulham at home. But no, that wasn't the case. And plus, you get that extra man with the fans. I thought they were outstanding last night.
Yeah, the crowd was quite incredible, wasn't it? One trophy for Mikel Arteta. Let's focus on that. How big a missed opportunity was it for him, do you feel? Does it put more pressure on him now, given Arsenal, of course, trail Liverpool in the league? Yeah,
I don't think there's pressure on him. I think, you know, they've been steady in the league. You know, they're second. The worst thing is they can finish second. They might win it still, but they'll finish second. They finished second the last 2 years. So we've got. It's easy to look at now. You go, oh, second, maybe again this season. But you're thinking the last 10, 15 years before that, Arsenal never looked like winning the league. So they're back in it. You know, I think can't forget that. But because they won 5-1 against Man City, I think it's covered over the cracks of this result, and people will go, oh, concentrate on the league. This isn't really the big trophy we want. But, you know, there's not many trophies you can win. And, you know, this was a big opportunity, especially over two legs. I thought they ruined it after the first leg. But over two legs, they should be beating Newcastle over two legs.
Let's talk about another bit of a blow. Injury to Gabriel Martinelli last night. I mean, Arteta made no secret of the fact that, you know, he wanted a forward in this January window. He didn't get one. Does it make this news now all the more concerning?
And Martinelli don't give you too many goals. You know, he's another body which you need. You know, the squad's not that big. That surprises me. That surprised me when Arteta come out and said that I wanted a centre forward. And you're thinking, if you wanted a centre forward, you're the manager. You've taken this club to the next level from where they were for the last 10, 15 years. He's took them to another level, not right to the top, but better than what they were. And he's turning around, I wanted a centre forward, and they haven't got him a centre forward. That shocks me. That majorly shocks me, that does.
What about putting yourself in that Arsenal dressing room right now, bidding for, of course, Aston Villa striker Ollie Watkins? That was in the last few days of the window. Gary Neville suggested that could have a negative message to the current forwards. How would you be feeling?
Well, who's the forwards? Jesus is injured. He's not a goal scorer. You got Havertz, who I think he'll be relieved if they brought in a centre forward, because I don't think he's an out-and-out centre forward. I think he's better when he plays deeper. So I don't get that one. I don't get that one. I think Arsenal need a forward. I think if you're a team and you want to win trophies, you worry about the team. Do you know what I mean? If you start worrying about yourself and that's all you're worried about, you're never ever going to win anything in the game. You know, it's a team, you know, and if I was any of them players, you'd be thinking, if we could have brought in Ollie Watkins or an Isak, they'd have took us to the next level. So I don't think any of them will be moaning. They're not natural goal scorers, any of the players at Arsenal.
Yeah, maybe taking the pressure off instead,
100%, 100%. Yeah, they just haven't got a natural goal scorer, and that's probably what's making them suffer at the moment.
Newcastle, of course, do have a natural goal scorer in the incredible Alexander Isak. We speak about him most weeks, don't we, when we sit and chat via Zoom on a Thursday. Just how impressive was he last night, and a great advert to show Arsenal what they're missing, really.
Well, yeah, and he's for anybody. But he's got to remember, he's playing at a great club, you know what I mean? If they start winning stuff, where else do you go? You know, look at the fans there yesterday. He's doing that against two of the best. He's destroying two of the best. You know, sometimes centre forwards turn it on and they play against two centre halves. You think, well, they're not the greatest, but these two are the best in the game as a pair, and he ruined them yesterday.
He's often the difference for Newcastle, but would he have been the difference to maybe an Arsenal in winning the league if they were to have acquired him?
I think he's a game changer. I think Ollie Watkins is a game changer. I think they take him to another level. When you're bringing in players, and people say about the January transfer market, I'm not sure about that, you panic. If you bring in a player in the January transfer market and they're better than what you've got, you've had a good market. Too many people bring in players just to fill the gap for the next 6 months, and then they go out and think, I wish I hadn't got him now, and then they'll go out and get who they want, and then they're stuck with a player for 4 years on a lot of money. So for me, if they'd have got any of them two players, Arsenal, that would have improved Arsenal tenfold.
Can you see him leaving Newcastle, or he's got Champions League football there, of course?
You're trying to get the Newcastle fans to hate me even more, aren't you, Hayley?
There'd be no reason for him to leave if he's enjoying himself up there. You look at the crowd at St James's Park; they're potentially competing in the Champions League.
It all come down to money. You know, I don't know the lad, but that's what it more likely comes down to. If someone comes in and they offer a lot of money, you know, it will be hard, you know. So for me, I don't know. At the moment, you know, they're in the final. Will they win it? If they play Tottenham, maybe. If they play Liverpool, it's going to be harder. But yeah, the lad's a special player. But on the way in, I was thinking, where's he going to go? Where can he go? He's not going Man City. He's not going to go Man United. You know, I don't know if Man United got any money to buy anybody anyway. He's not going to go Tottenham. I don't think he'll go Villa. I think he can only go to Arsenal in the whole world, really, unless it's Real Madrid, and they got Mbappe anyway. So, for me, it's owning Arsenal where he can go, and then it'll be up to him. Does he want to go and play for Arsenal and might win something, or stay at Newcastle and might win something? So, it'd be an interesting one, but it all depends on the fair play rule as well. I don't know what Newcastle have to do.
Yeah, very true. You've already touched on it. They're going to face either Liverpool or Tottenham. You had a bit of an opinion on it there, but what chance have Newcastle got for ending this wait for a trophy? What do they need to do to go one step further than, of course, the last time they attempted and failed?
It all comes down to timing. It does, you know. When they won the first leg, you literally thought that was it, end of. They won 8 or 9 on the trot. They're flying along. No one wants to play Newcastle. Fast forward 3.5 weeks or 3 weeks or whatever it was, they just lost 2 home games at home to Bournemouth and Fulham. and you're thinking, well, Arsenal might have a chance. So it's going to be on timings, you know, what the fixtures are. If Liverpool get through, have they got a Champions League game the following week? You know, God forbid, you know, will Isaac or a Bruno or a Gordon or a Tonali be injured, you know, and then that weakens their team immensely. So it'll all be about timings, all about timings. But at the moment, that is what they've got to concentrate on, Newcastle. And, you know, for me, if Newcastle come 15th in the league and won the Carabao Cup, I mean, that would be one of the most successful seasons you'll ever see.
How much credit do we have to give Eddie Howe then? I mean, how much does he deserve? He changed his formation. He played 3 at the back. You saw what he did to Arsenal's centre-halves. And how important is it to be adaptable as a head coach? Because he certainly made sure of it last night.
Yeah, I thought he probably played the 3 centre-halves for Arsenal's set plays to get bigger players on the pitch. He might, you know, I might be wrong there, and he might come back and say, no, I wanted to push on and take, you know, and just have that extra body in. But I just thought Arsenal's set plays are so good. I just think bringing that extra defender in at centre, you know, and playing 3 at the back, for me, that was the reason behind it. But it worked. You know, Gordon, I think Murphy's done great. I really do. I think he's an unsung hero at the moment. His goal's phenomenal. That is a hard finish, you know, a hard finish under pressure, you know, and I think he's done really well. I don't think he gets the credit. We talk about Isaac and Gordon and people like that, but he never really gets the credit, and I think he's been outstanding.